Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of FPL Fanzone. My name's Nick and in today's episode we are going to have a quick look back at Gameweek 10 results and my decisions and then look at the current Gameweek 11 challenges and my transfer plans moving in before the deadline. So without further ado, let's get started. So Gameweek 10 was a good result for me, 55 points, plus 900,000, or near just under a million rank rise, which is great. I still got 2 free transfers for this week, and overall there were some star performers in the week, and it was mainly my differentials that got points, as most of the premiums this week didn't, which helped my rank rise. So for example, I had Pickford in goal with 2 points, Aina star of the week with 15 points for Nottingham Forest, Gabriel and Trent Alexander-Arnold both on 2 points. Maddison came in clutch. He came off the bench for Tottenham with about 10 minutes to spare and scored a stunning free kick to get 6 points. I was rather hoping he just didn't come on at all, and it would have got Semenyo for 10 points off the bench. But either way, he got me the 6 points, so happy, no blank there. Palmer blanked and is now a yellow flag for this week, so a slight concern moving forward. And Bremo blanked with 2 points. Sorry, 3 points. They did keep the clean sheet, and then Rogers come in with a 9-pointer as well. So another really good, solid points haul from a differential. And then up front, Haaland was my captain. Disappointing again. Big opportunities, not taking his chances at the moment. Only 2 points, obviously doubled to make 4 as my captain. Calvert-Lewin needs to go, 2 points again. Just nothing happening there, and because I just wish I'd played Semenyo ahead of him, but the fixtures suggested that Everton had the easier fixture. Calvert-Lewin is just not performing in that as well. And then lastly, Chris Wood, who continues to get points every week with another 7 points. So overall 55 points, just under a million rank rise, and so let's have a quick look at my team for Game Week 11. So before we look at Game Week 11 and the challenges that I've got, these were the options that I had moving into Game Week 10 just before the deadline. So the first one was to do nothing, which is the option I actually decided on doing and keeping rolling that transfer. So I had 2 free transfers to make this week. All of the other options didn't really make a huge amount of difference. So by not moving, there was no huge loss there. Option 1 was to move Gabriel down to 8-Nori and start to free up some funds. That actually would have cost me -1 point because 8-Nori only got 1 point and Gabriel got 2. And the second option was to move Calvert-Lewin, and I had 3 choices and talked about the different strikers in that price range. If I'd have gone for Raul Jimenez or for Wissa, I would have made no difference because they all got 2 points. If I had gone for Cunha last week, he would have got 4 points. He got 6 points, so it would have been a +4 there. So a potential price rank rise would have been even above the million if I'd have bought in Cunha last week. And then lastly was the big debate of whether I should have switched Salah to Haaland. And actually, if you look at them just points for points, by keeping Rogers and Haaland, I got 9 and 2, which was 11. If I'd have switched to Salah and Wissa, it was 9 and 2, so it would have been 11. The main difference there was that obviously I would have captained Salah instead of Haaland, and that's where I would have got the additional 7 points. So yes, it would have worked for me, but overall it feels okay on that. Obviously, potential there for if I'd have gone, for example, Salah and Cunha, then it would have been as much as an 11-point difference, which again is quite big at my rank at the moment. So some thoughts moving into Game Week 11. Let's look what my team looks like now. So going into Game Week 11, this was my bust team. I had Pickford in goal, away to West Ham. I had Aina at home to Newcastle, Gabriel away to Chelsea, and Trent Alexander at home to Aston Villa. In midfield, I have Maddison at home to Ipswich, Palmer, yellow flag, but at home to Arsenal, and Bremo at home to Bournemouth, and Rogers away to Liverpool. And then up front, I had Haaland away to Brighton, Calvert-Lewin away to West Ham, and Chris Wood at home to Newcastle. And then on my bench, Flecken at home to Bournemouth, Semenyo away to Brentford, Fass away to Man United, and then Greaves away at Tottenham, but he is currently red flagged. So obviously, just looking at this team, there's quite a few problems that I've got in here. First and foremost, let's start in the midfield. Maddison is now an issue. Having played only 45 minutes, 60 minutes and 9 minutes in the last 3 games, that minutes risk is now a real concern. His underlying stats look amazing, but there seems to be a tweak in the Tottenham system now. Solanke is now being moved more forward. And Maddison has been dropped. The only reason he came on was because Richarlison, who was subbed on for Son after 66 minutes, got injured and then came off again. So Maddison probably wasn't even going to play that game. He only came on because the sub got injured on that as well. So now he's a real minutes risk. Ipswich at home is a great fixture, and if he was playing 80 or 90, 70 or 80 minutes, I'd have been really happy to keep him. But if he's only playing 9 minutes, I'm really concerned there moving forward. In my front line, Calvert-Lewin and Haaland obviously are still flattering, just not scoring at the moment. Haaland is getting the chances. He's just not putting them away. And as I speak, I believe he's just missed a penalty in the Champions League midweek as well. So confidence is super low for Haaland at the moment. But with the amount of chances he's getting, and Kevin De Bruyne on the bench last week, there's a real chance that he can come back in, find that goal scoring touch, and hopefully start scoring again in the team. And then Calvert-Lewin has just doesn't look like he's going to score more than anything else. That Everton team is still struggling a little bit. So yeah, Calvert-Lewin is a big concern for me. And then on the bench, obviously Greaves is red flagged and is out for an unknown date. So at the moment, while he's my fourth defender, it's not really the fifth defender. Sorry, I'm fourth on my bench. It's not really a concern because I'm not having to do that. He is someone obviously that I would look to move out if I had the transfers. So let's look at what decisions I have made this week. So this week I am actually taking a -4. I am moving 3 of my problems to solve them moving forward. So Greaves is coming out for Aït-Nouri. Wolves fixtures are amazing over the next 8. They've had such a tough run in the first 10 games, and the next 8 look amazing. So hopefully he can continue to get those attacking returns on top of some clean sheets and do what Aina did for me last week, which was get me a 15-pointer and really make a huge difference. He's only 11% owned now. He is now rising up in price, and he's nearly 5 million. But and his ownership is rising quickly. But I still think he's an amazing pickup, this one, and obviously gives me some rotation options now in my defence. In the midfield, I've had to free up a little bit of money, so I did a sideways step, moving Maddison down to Johnson. Their underlying stats are very, very similar. Maddison slightly better. Obviously, he's more expensive, and he's but now a minutes risk, and Johnson is actually getting more goal opportunities but less assist opportunities. So Ipswich at home makes sense to just move sideways while they've still got that amazing fixture. I know they've got Man City next week, but I can just rotate him out for that one as well. And then by freeing up that fund, it allows me to move Calvert-Lewin to Cunha, who for me is a standout forward over the next 8 weeks, and I'll talk about him a little bit more. So I've already taken the -4. I've moved Greaves to Aït-Nouri, Maddison to Johnson, and Calvert-Lewin to Cunha. But let's have a quick look why, a bit of a more deep dive into why I've picked the Wolves players. Okay, so this is why I've picked Matheus Cunha. And looking at the Wolves fixtures for the next 8 weeks, it's a sea of green fixtures. Now, bearing in mind, in the first 10 weeks, and if you look at the first 8 weeks of the season, Wolves have been conceding goals left, right and centre, losing games, but they have been scoring a lot of goals as well. But in their first 8 games, they played Arsenal, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Brentford and Man City. Now, if you take that as an opening 8 fixtures, that's the toughest fixture run I've seen as a starting 8 for that. But since then, they've played Brighton and Crystal Palace and are starting to look a little bit stronger. But if you look at their next 8 fixtures, they've got Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester. So they've got all 3 promoted sides. They've got Everton, who are really struggling at the moment, Bournemouth and West Ham, who are also struggling. That fixture run is amazing. And Cunha right now is central to everything that this team is doing. He's picking up bonus points. I think he's got 10 already so far this season. So on average about 1 a game. He's got 4 goals 1 assist in those first 10 games. Given those fixture run, what could he potentially do moving forward? I think, his XGI is 0.49 at the moment, and I think that will only increase given that the fixture ease moving forward. So having a couple of Wolves players for this next fixture run is important for me, which is why I've taken the -4 this week. I think he'll make that up on Calvert-Lewin in the first week alone, but moving forward he's certainly going to get me a lot more, and especially don't really want to wait another week to miss out on that plum Southampton at home fixture, who have been really struggling at the back. But let me know in the comments below, guys. Are you picking anyone from the Wolves team? Is Cunha already in your team? He's only 7.9% owned, so still a differential. Only 6.7%, 6.7 million as well, so cheaper than some of the other sort of premium forwards as well. So for me, he's now in my team, and really looking forward to watching him play and He's also on both corners. So he takes corners from both sides, and we know that Saka gets a lot of assists from that, so there's a potential for him to get assists from corners. I believe he's going to be on penalties. Now, normally, if you look at the FPL website, the set-piece takers, it does say that Hwang and Sarabia are the two ahead of him, but Sarabia has only started in the last 2 games and only sort of managed 45 minutes in that. Hwang has only started the first 2 games and then has come on as a sub, so I really think that Cunha is going to be the potential penalty taker as well moving forwards, which again is just another route for points for someone who's relatively cheap in that forward position. But let me know, guys, are you picking up a Wolves player? Looking at these stats, have you seen a better fixture run for anyone else? Let me know in the comments below. Next up, and the captaincy options for game week 11. Now, as always, I've pulled these stats from the Fantasy Football Hub AI points predictor, and it's got Salah, who are at home to Aston Villa this week, to predicted 8 points, with Haaland and Son not far behind, with Brighton and Ipswich with 7.5 and 7.4 expected points. And then if you drop down to the sort of the next lots of premiums, you've got Saka and Palmer, who are playing against each other at the moment. Palmer is yellow flagged, so that may be affecting his points and potential minutes, which is why his points number is a little bit lower. So realistically, I'd probably put Palmer above Saka as an attacking option this week. And then as your differential, you could either go for someone like Solanke or Chris Wood, who are both a 6.3 expected points according to the AI tool. But realistically for me, obviously not having Salah, Haaland will be my captain again. He must turn around this form at some point. I'm really hoping that he, finds his scoring boots again, puts them back on, gets a couple of goals and gets that confidence back in my team. Because right now, switching between him and Salah requires 2 transfers, and there was other areas that I needed to fix in my team at the moment. So while I was hoping to make that change this week, there were too many other challenges in my team that I felt were more important than making a sideways switch between these two. But let me know, guys, are you team Salah, team Haaland? How many of you have made that risky move of switching between the two? Obviously, it backfired badly for me when I did it in game week 6. I came off Salah, moved to Haaland, and Haaland has stopped scoring. So I'm hoping that hoodoo has been lifted and that he will now come back and start scoring again soon. But who's your captain choice for this week? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'm missing out here. I've got to stop captaining in Haaland, start captaining others to try and gain some of that rank back. Speak to you soon. So here we go, looking at my current team as it stands heading into the deadline for game week 11. And as I've already mentioned, I've already made my 3 transfers, so I've taken my -4, and I'm just hoping for no last minute news now on any of the players that I've just bought in. But in goal, I've got Pickford away to West Ham. In defence, I've got Aït-Nouri at home to Southampton, Gabriel away to Chelsea, and Trent Alexander-Arnold at home to Aston Villa. Now, there is an option here for me to move Gabriel to Aina and have Aina at home to Newcastle, who has a slightly better fixture. But I'll make that decision closer to the deadline. In midfield, I've got Johnson, who's replaced Maddison with that plum fixture at home to Ipswich. So hopefully he can continue his goal-scoring form. I've got Palmer, who is yellow flagged, didn't play midweek, but not because of injury, because he isn't in the squad, the European squad for Chelsea currently. So therefore, he should be hopefully okay for Arsenal on Sunday. Umbremo is at home to Bournemouth, and then Semenyo is away to Brentford, so they'll be playing against each other. So hopefully they can both get some points. And then up front, the captain's armband is still on Haaland. I am an absolute sucker for punishment. I'm going to keep the captain's armband there. Going to keep the faith that he's going to turn this around. Hopefully Kevin De Bruyne comes back into the team, puts some things on the plate for him and lets him do his thing and get those goals. Then I've got the new guy, Cunha. Welcome to the squad. Southampton at home, plum fixture, talisman for the team, hopefully potential penalty taker as well. And then, of course, the star of the team, Chris Wood, who has been massively underrated for everyone else at the moment. All of those that have kept him, he has managed to keep the faith and continue to keep scoring goals, who's got Newcastle at home this week as well. And then on the bench, I've got Flecken at home to Bournemouth, Rodgers away to Liverpool, Aino at home to Newcastle, and Fass, who is away at a resurgent Man United, who since Ten Hag has gone have now started to pick up some points and play with a bit more promise. But this will be Ruud van Nistelrooy's last game in charge before Amorim starts after the international break. So let me know, am I crazy? Should I be moving my captain's armband off Haaland, giving it to someone like Cunha or to Palmer, who have... Cunha's got a plum fixture. Johnson's in good form at the moment, also got a great fixture. Is it just price bias? Am I still just hoping for, this Haaland hat trick to come out of nowhere? Right now, it's on Haaland, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Once again, everyone, just want to say a big thank you for watching FPL Fanzone. Really do appreciate all of your comments in the channel and the chat. Please don't forget, if you've got this far in, to click like, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and that notification bell if you want updates on future videos that are coming out. But I'll leave that there, and hoping that all of your arrows be green.